What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shonuff 71, aka Digadulamite.
Purple bling bling, y'all.
And your auditory canals are tuned into episode 250 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. And of course, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, I got my partners in crime. First on deck, it's Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the high-res lover/hater.
Depending on my mood.
a.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that gamer stepdaddy. What's going on?
Hey, not much. Just happy to be back. Happy to be here. Happy to be talking to all of you fantastic people. And yeah, let's get this party started.
All right. And of course, our show is a no-go without Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of gaming, who could maximize your gaming dollar. What's going on?
Not much. I've been maximizing my gaming dollar by working overtime, but it hasn't left me a lot of time to play games, unfortunately. So, But, hey, whatever's clever. I'm just trying to save up for Tokyo Game Show, y'all. So,
okay.
Yep.
All right. So that's going to bring us to what is always our first topic on the docket, and that is the playlist. So let's kick things off with Jabroni Chief. What you been playing, man?
Last week, Diablo 4. So I'm still pushing through my gameplay. Both Dez and Christian powered me through both Act 1 and Act 2. Almost like I had to fight back those feelings of, hey, there's a side quest here. There's a dungeon over there. There's a cellar over there.
That's yonder. A shiny object over there.
Yep, you got it. Oh, wait, there's a live event there. It's like playing Diablo 4 is kind of like playing Destiny or Destiny 2 because, God forbid, I'm going to miss a sequenced live event that you rinse and repeat with the same ones on the playfield that kind of plays like that. So yeah, Christian and Dez powered me through both Act 1, Act 2, and I will be looking at Act 3. I'm at level 51 with my character now, so I had to look at the
Paragon points.
The Paragon points, yeah, with the Paragon board. So I had to look at my my map as far as what powers I want to do for my build. And of course, I'm not thinking on my own. I'm following a guide to do that because, it's probably easier that way. I want a good, nice build so I could beat the game with and kind of move then from there to the in-game portion. So
the Hell Tides.
You got it. Hell Tides. Sounds like what, like Procter & Gamble and Hell. Yeah. Tides. Hell Tide. Hell Tide.
They clean your laundry.
Are you guys buying the DLC coming up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I took advantage of the pet that was available because everyone could get the pet now. But if you buy the DLC early, you get like a choice of skins for your pet. So it's like, none of the skins look like Misty or Jack, my dogs. So it's like, okay, I could wait to see on this. It's not like I am going to definitely pick up the DLC. So we'll kind of cross that bridge when it finally comes out. Hope and beyond hope. Maybe that's part of Game Pass Ultimate. So I play on Xbox.
No.
Oh, I can play on Xbox.
It's not gonna be part of Games Pass Extra. That's for damn sure.
Oh, you never know. You never know. Uncle Phil said, "Here you go, Game Pass Ultimate." Ooh,
Uncle Phil ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. So we'll see. If not, I'll keep playing on PlayStation, of course. So, but yeah. Other than playing overtime and whatnot, I played my Steam Deck for a little bit. So I fired up and did like about maybe half an hour of Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky, a little bit because I got a new pair of headphones in the mail, a pair of audiophile headphones that were rated like top choice that were only $70. So, but they have a microphone included that you could use, just in case for gaming possibly. So I haven't used those yet, but I want to at least break those headphones in at least, because you know how much I love headphones. I love headphones and controllers. No joke. So, but I'll kind of let you guys know the headphones I bought. Let's look and see. That way I can let you guys know what I'm doing. It's the FiO JT1 professional studio headphones. So,
ooh, professional.
Yeah, they're high-res musical studio headset, and they're only $69.99, and they're kind of highly cheap. Yep, they're kind of highly rated from, told best audiophile headphone under $100, because that's the way I roll. I'm not going to spend no thousands of dollars on headphones. So I'm kind of curious how this bad boy works with plugging into the controller, so I'll definitely let you guys know just in case. But they are pretty good headphones from what I could tell. So, Dez, what you been up to? What you been playing?
What have I been playing? Same as you, Diablo 4, helping you around. Love playing the game. Love having the game there. I really enjoy. I don't know. It's just give me an asymmetric, RPG. ARPG, and I am there, and Diablo is just scratching that itch right now. I will be getting the DLC. I will be getting the new class. You got me with the new class. I probably won't be buying all the super the greatest stuff for it, but I definitely will be playing that new class. But yeah, really enjoying it. If you want to play with us, definitely join us on our Tuesday night Vessel Gaming night. Come and join us. I think you'll really love it. Also still playing Miasma Chronicles. My dashboard says I'm 70% complete. So
Elvis.
Elvis. So now I'm nearing the end of the game. Just got a couple of more scripted missions, and then that'll be done and dusted. So that'll be fun. And then last but not least, I actually did it. The new announcement for Dragon Age Veilguard has made me download Dragon Age Inquisition, and I am going to beat it. It will be one of the games that's in my backlog. If you've been listening to us, you know that we started a backlog challenge. And if you're on our Discord, you'll see the backlog challenge of games that the three of us are going to do. And we invite you to join us as well. But we have decided that we are going to pick 5 games. And we have to beat completely, story and all, extras included, if you want to. As long as the game is over 15 hours long. I know we said 20, but life gets in the way, and we are adults, so we said 15 hours, and that could be a game that's just 15 hours in its story, or it could be a game 15 hours plus extras. But as long as it reaches that 15-hour mark, it's golden. And if all three of us are able to beat 2 games, we're just going to go out and have a nice meal to celebrate. You're more than welcome to join us if you're in the Central Valley. And then a special prize, and this was given to us by Goonie, so you can thank Goonie for this, Kev. Special prize: whoever beats the most games gets a free dessert, compliments of the other 2. So if you beat all 5 or more, it's just if you beat more than 2. So if you beat 3 and the other 2 beat 2, then you get a free dessert. So you really kind of sweeten up the pot a little bit. So
right,
yeah. So look, in the next week we're going to be posting our 5 games, minimum of 5, maximum of however many you want, but we're going to be posting those games in the Discord under the new one. It should be at the bottom. It's Summer Gaming Blowout or Backlog Blowout or something. So
Summer Backlog Bet.
Yeah, I don't like bet. I like Blowout, but because I guess it is a bet. But anyway, but yeah, so that's one of the ones I'm going to beat, and Dragon Age, because I have beat the other 2, and I want to see where this one goes. I know I could just read a wiki and find out what happened, and I know who the boss is and who the villain is. That was fine. It's soulless. We all know it is. He was featured heavily in the trailer, so I just want to see how we got to this point. So yeah, I fired it up, downloaded it. I have the Game of the Year edition. It's going to be quite a long time, so it might not be one of the ones that I beat in the two that I'm going to beat, because it just seems like it's going to be like, what was it, Joe? Like 80 hours or something? Some
Yeah, it's
crazy.
ridiculous. Like, it's almost 100 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. So we'll see. But yeah, I am going to beat it before Veilguard comes out, because that trailer for Veilguard was fantastic, and it really got me super, super stoked for Dragon Age. I'm here for it. I want to play it. It can't come fast enough, and I'm ready for it. So yeah, I am super ready for it. So, but I'm only in the first. I just completed the first part of the game, and I'm waiting until I can have some time just to sit down and actually, get into it, like really sink my teeth into it. So, but I want to roll credits for it. So please wish us luck. If you want to join us, please post your games in the Discord as well, knowing that we're not going to buy you dinner, but you're
If you're
definitely
in town, you know.
Hey, if you're in town, you can come and join us. So definitely,
Yeah, it's
let us
our
know.
summer backlog blowout. I changed the name, so
Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate that. So.
not a problem.
But yeah, those are the only games that I've been playing. I really hope that I'm able to beat Miasma Chronicles this coming week. I should be really close. And Diablo 4, that's just to help Joe get beaten, and also just to get it's just like a good time waster type game. You put it in, you mop up a few mobs, and then you keep going. So this has got that it's got that goodness, that just tastes so good. So, but that's all I've been playing, my friends. So Kev, what have you been playing, buddy?
So I haven't really been playing a whole lot. I did jump into Helldivers 2 for a little bit to check. There was a big patch that released last week, I think. And I'm kind of going through my old loadouts and seeing what works and what doesn't. Still fun, still enjoying the game. The other thing I've been playing is I finished Robocop. I forget what the subtitle is on that. It's the Robocop video game.
Rogue City.
Rogue City. And yeah, Robocop. I tell you, man, I know that there are games that are homages to either a license or a genre. I don't think there is a game that fits that love letter arena quite like RoboCop does. I mean, is it perfect as an FPS? No, it's not. It repetitive enemies, limited game spaces, difficulty spikes. I mean, it's not perfect, but man, when you get to, there are points in that game, like when you get to the end boss and you're getting ready to take down, the individual or individuals responsible for all the nonsense that's going on in this game, and you hear that da, 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 I mean, it like almost immediately I'm in high school again at the theater and watching RoboCop, which ironically, funny enough, that was the first movie I ever got stood up when I asked a girl out on a date. That's also the last one, but it's funny. She tried to reschedule it or ask if I wanted to go back at it. It's like, no, I was no simp before there was a word for it. But man, when that music hits and they pulled the music straight from the movie soundtrack, and I mean, it just thumps if you are a child of, or a young person of the 80s, because I think that's when the first RoboCop came out in the late. I was in high school. That's what I remember. If you're of that generation and you are a fan of stuff like RoboCop, ultra violent, campy, ridiculous at times politically incorrect humor. RoboCop just fits that bill like no other homage type game ever. It's like you can tell this game was either made by people that are just RoboCop Uber fans, or they just studied the source material to a T. One or the other, or a combination of both. It's I don't think this game got a whole lot of credit when it first released, but man, would I recommend this game if you're not a RoboCop fan? Probably not, because you'd have to judge it against other FPS games, and if you're looking at it purely from that standpoint, it doesn't stack up. But if you are a RoboCop fan, particularly if you are a RoboCop Uber fan, I'm a fan. I'm not an Uber fan, but there's a YouTube video, I think I can't remember the name of the person who did it, that went in and looked at all the Easter eggs that are in the game that are from the RoboCop franchise, the movie franchise, and there's just like a ton of them. I mean, from people that I don't remember from the movies to, I mean, these people went deep. They went deep in the cut, and the work clearly shows in this game. So I couldn't recommend this game enough if you are just a fan of RoboCop. The other game that I'm working on, I'm probably going to add it to my list, depending on how long it takes to beat, because I didn't look that up, is Fate Samurai. Fate. What's that name? I keep forgetting the name. Fate Samurai
Remnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the Joe played. Got really into.
Very fun. It is a kind of a Muso style game. It's still in the Fate Stay Night universe. Takes place in the Edo era. You are the main character is a student of Musashi. I forget his last, or I forget his Musashi something or other. He's the guy
that Miyamoto Musashi, right?
Yeah. He's the one who invented sword fighting with two blades, or at least came up with a style that kind of perfected it. So Musashi is deceased, and you're kind of like his more like adopted son, as well as the inheritor of his style. And you don't know this, but you were born with the that he thinks it's a birthmark, but it's the mark of the master, for lack of a better word. And the master controls the spirits of the heroes from the past, and they all fight over the goblet of destiny, or whatever they call that thing. And the winner of kind of like this massive tournament gets to make a wish, and that wish will determine whatever fate that they want to see come to fruition.
Because he is the last dragon. The last dragon.
I guess, but the main character is like, nah, this is too dangerous to really be in the hands of anybody. So he seems to be trying to work to end it, but it's a pretty cool game. There's a lot of systems to it. There's a skill tree associated. There's a lot of combo attacks when you're fighting with Saber. So of course, Saber is in all the games, I think, and she's your I forget the term that they use, summoned hero, for lack of the actual term. And you can do combo attacks with her. There's a lot of meat to it for a Muso style game. You can switch styles. You can switch from using a single sword to the Musashi style, and there's benefits in switching styles mid combo, and it's really kind of interesting. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. And that's really, is that yeah, that's pretty much the only game that I've been playing. What I will say about some stuff that I'm watching, I'm really digging season 2's My Adventures with Superman.
Isn't it
I
great?
mean, I am just like, yo, coming from someone who does not like Superman, the traditional. When I say traditional, I'm talking about, from the '90s forward. That Superman.
Yeah.
This one, it's like I just can't stop watching it. It's like every episode I finish, it's like, okay, I can't wait till next week. And if someone would have told me I would be feeling that way about a Superman miniseries, I'd have said they were crazy. But for whatever reason, the character development, the tension between characters, Lois and her dad, Lois and Clark, Clark and Jimmy, it's never, to me at least, in a lot of miniseries, they kind of slow down inter-character relationships to focus on like one set. But it seems like with each episode, all of these characters grow in growth, in depth, in detail, in story. It's some of the best written Western animation that I've seen in a long time, and it's just a great show. I'm really feeling that. So yeah, Adventures with Superman has been like crazy dope. But
Jimmy Olsen broke yet or no?
Nope.
Not yet.
But he's like balling out with like the limousine and getting
he's getting there. He's getting there.
Yeah.
He is rapidly, his funds are rapidly decreasing. But you know what? It's like when he does these exorbitant purchases, it's coming from a good heart or from a good place.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like, man, that was dumb, but I understand why you did it, and I understand how you wanted to treat the person that you did that for. And it's like it's just really good. I mean, I don't want to go into spoiler territory and all that other stuff, but another thing, and maybe Des, you can answer this question, is
Sure.
Why does this show come on at midnight? Like, because that's typically on Cartoon Network the time for more adult-oriented animated shows. There's nothing. I think this show might be missing a bigger audience if it debuted earlier in the evening.
Yeah, it's weird. I think it's a thing that they did with Adult Swim, because it premieres on Adult Swim first, and then it comes out on Max the next day. So I don't know. I don't watch it on Adult Swim. I think it's just because it's part of the Adult Swim lineup, and Adult Swim is only from like 11:30 to a certain amount of time, like 11:30. So it's only at night because it is an all ages show. So it doesn't make any sense why it's so late.
Yeah,
but I think it's just because that's part of their programming block is that time frame. So it's just more accessible to people on Max. So that's where I watch it, because I'm not staying up that late on a Thursday night. I'm just not going to do that. Or on a Friday night. I could, but I just don't want to. So.
It's like I feel that they're missing out on a big market that is watching this on cable. Like I'm not watching it live on cable. I'm recording it and then watching it later.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel that they're missing out on a bigger viewing audience by putting it so late. Because you think right. Kids. I mean, granted, we're in the summer months, and it does air on Saturday, at least when I'm watching it, when I catch it live, the few times I
Mhm.
do catch it live. So I guess you could say, yeah, school kids could be up that late, but I just feel that they would be getting a much bigger slice of that viewing pie if they would put it on or a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Well, they are getting. They did say that they are getting a third season. They have already been renewed for a third season, so it
Oh,
is.
that's
It
fantastic.
is doing really well, and we're gonna see more of them. So that's fantastic.
That's dope. That's dope. And because I had to go to the emergency room over the course of this weekend. I'm doing much better. It's all good. Nothing too serious. Um, I started watching this other show. I don't know if you guys ever. I'm a Looney Tunes fan. I grew up watching those, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and there was a show that came out in like the early '90s, I want to say, called the Looney Tunes Show. And basically, if you combined Seinfeld with Looney Tunes, that's what it is.
Huh.
And it's freaking hilarious. I remember watching like a couple of episodes way, way back in the day, but I didn't remember. It wasn't a show that I watched a whole lot because they punched way above the belt of what you would expect, like little kids watching, you know, Wile E. Coyote getting dynamite blown up in his face. All that those elements are there, but it's in the framework of a sitcom. And bro, it's freaking hilarious, dude.
No.
It is crazy hilarious. Like the premise, the overall premise is like Bugs Bunny made money by inventing the carrot peeler. So he just lives off the royalties of that. And
Okay.
Daffy Duck is his best friend and roommate. He don't pay for nothing. He is like this totally self-absorbed, selfish, borderline hateful, psychotic best friend. And it's like the stuff that they get into, dude, it's a crack up. Like Speedy Gonzalez runs a pizza restaurant. Yosemite Sam is like lives, I don't know if he lives across the street from them, and he's Yosemite Sam, but he's like, it would be like uh if you saw like Yosemite Sam when he's not on set of a traditional Looney Tunes show. Like he is this insecure short dude who like tries to take advantage of people but can't because he's not that smart.
Okay.
I mean, it is like Hazel the witch lives next door, and her son is Gossamer. I don't know if
Yes.
that big red furry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's her son. There was one episode where Daffy Duck tried to coach Gossamer's water polo league. Hilarious. I'm trying to think of like other sub like Sylvester and Tweety Bird all live with Granny. She's like this retired um, ex military spy from World War II. It is
This sounds
so
crazy.
well written, but it is so good. Are there episodes better than others? Is Yeah, but I think the one of the last ones I saw was Bugs Bunny lost his gloves, or actually Daffy Duck ruined his gloves. So he's like, that's part of my personality. I got to find another pair of gloves. So he's going through putting on these different pairs of gloves, and the episode wound up turning into a parody of oh gosh, what was that movie? It was Molly Ringwald as one
Sixteen
of the
Candles?
one of the Estevez brothers, um
Oh, you're
Jude
talking about
Law,
the Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. Yeah, dude, I couldn't stop laughing.
Okay.
I literally could not stop laughing. So if you can find, like, I record, I now, because I discovered it when I was off. It's like I'm like recording these. I'm going to be recording these off of Cartoon Network, but these are some of the best, well written animated programs that I've ever seen. It's I it's like, well, why wasn't I watching this when this stuff was new?
Yeah, never
Like
heard of this.
yeah, it is freaking hilarious. So but yeah, that's what I've been up to. Not a whole lot of gaming, but kind of since I've been kind of not feeling all that well, just kind of watching some old coming across some old cartoons and enjoying the hell out of my Adventures of Superman. So that's what I've been up to. So that's going to put us to our main event coming up right now. All right, Des, you got the mic, my friend.
Alrighty. So yeah, Gav, I'm glad that you're like finding this. Like, I think I remember something about the Looney Tunes with Granny being in ex-CIA. So I have to look for that. So thank you for bringing that up. And if any of you have heard of this, definitely let us know in the on our Discord or in the comments. Let us know. So for the main event question comes to you from our good friend Jabroni Chief. So he has a really interesting question. So it is: you are stuck with one game console or handheld library of games pre 8th generation. So basically before PS4, Xbox One, and Switch for an entire year. What is the system that you pick and why? And what games would you play? So, Joe, because you've asked such an existential, question, I think that you should start. So, my friend, what gaming console or handheld would you have, and what gaming library would you have, and what game would you pick? Games, I should say.
Actually, looking at because the way the questions, it's anything prior to Gen 8,
Yeah,
which would be like PS4, Xbox One, and Switch.
you said before that.
Before that, yeah.
Yeah, so we're
So,
talking about PS3, Xbox 360, and it would be the Wii, right? The Wii U.
yeah, and you could go anywhere back prior to that. And
Yeah.
as far as all the consoles, I would pick PlayStation 2, actually. So,
Okay.
and PlayStation 2, to me, I mean, there's enough games on that particular platform where I could play, like, I've never beaten Final Fantasy X. I never played 10-2. I could play Final Fantasy 12, of course. All the original God of Wars, Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, the first 3 Devil May Cries, of course. A couple of Kingdom Hearts. That's where all the great GTAs are at as well. So, and including some old like bangers, like some Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, some Persona games. So there's a number of different quality games on the PlayStation 2 to where I think if I had to pick a retro console, that would probably be the one. And you gotta consider, okay, they got that, you got God Hand, you got Suikoden 3 and 4. So there's like tons of JRPGs that I'll have access to as well. Shadow Hearts, Wild Arms, you name it. There's a lot of games. There's a reason why that particular system is the world record holder for sales on there, because it stayed in the market so long, and there's a ton of great games for PlayStation 2. So that is my choice.
Wow, PlayStation 2. Okay.
Yep.
Kev, what is your choice, buddy?
I'm gonna have to say it was either gonna be, I know God Hand. Well, God Hand was my favorite game until Final Fantasy 16 came along. I was thinking that, but I'm going to have to go with the Saturn. I gotta go with the Saturn again. I'm Guardian Heroes, all those fighting games, that 2D magic, those even those bullet hells, which I like bullet hells. I'm not an uber fan of them, but I like them. The Saturn just had the best version of 2D games around, particularly if you had access to the Japanese games, which were most of which were never released stateside. And even some of the 3D ones were okay, but for me, it's man, it's those 2D games. I'm even including like games like I can't remember if it was well received, but like I loved Astle. It was one of the I think it was one of the release games for the system, because I didn't come along. I didn't get a Saturn until it had long since died, and the Dreamcast was new. So I didn't get a Saturn until that point, and then through Jabroni Chief discovering this, a whole new world of Japanese games, of fighting games and beat 'em ups and all this stuff that was never released stateside. I was just like, you know what? At the time, it's like literally, whole check was going to NCS for the most part.
Mine too, sir. I racked up credit card debt, which is even worse. So
yeah, it was like, you got Whole Foods, NCS was whole check for me back in the day. The Street Fighter Alphas, oh man, all that stuff. So
even like, there's good 2D action games on there, like Assault Suit Lanos, Elevator Action Returns.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of cool and unique titles, that's for sure. Lots of shmups.
In the Hunt is still one of my favorite side shooters, just because I just found it to be so unique. It's I guess it's kind of like R-Type in a submarine, but
it's made by the developers of Metal Slug, so
yeah. So and that was, and also it gave me access to the SNK games that I missed out because I never was able to get a hold of the Neo Geo hardware. So King of Fighters, Final Fight games, the Garou games, so many 2D fighters from that. And one of the I can't, was it Real Bout? It was one of the Real Bouts. When you finish the game, you the single player, and I don't know if it depended on what character you finished or how you finished, but it had one of the dopest fan service secret endings, which was a music video by Blue Mary, and it was crazy. I thought, and she's singing in Japanese, of course, so you don't understand what she's saying, but it was one of the dopest fan service things I've ever seen in a game. So stuff like that, games like that, is why I got to push for the Saturn on this one.
Alrighty. So for me, I think it's great that all you old heads get to have your fun and everything, but I'm gonna have to keep it real 100 with y'all, and I'm gonna have to say, if I was stuck for a year with one system, it would be the Nintendo DS, 100%. No questions taken. Just kidding. Yeah, 100% Nintendo DS, and that's specifically because, one, it is the best handheld system ever created, bar none. Love it. It's still in the Switch, but the Switch is a little too big. I still like the form factor of the DS. Fantastic. It was wide enough. It felt good in the hands. Just great, and you can take it everywhere. So if I'm gonna be stuck with a year with only one thing to play, you best believe it's going with your boy when he goes to work, when he goes driving places. It's gonna be coming with me. And
in the toilet,
that too. I ain't trading it in. But for as far as the games go, you have all of the Dragon Quest games that were remade for the system. You have the Monster Hunter games, Monster Hunter Stories, Phoenix Wright games, the remake of it wasn't a remake, but the upres of Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger. Like, there's tons of games on that system. All the Pokemon games. We played so much DS, Joe, that it was like criminal.
Are you talking DS or are you talking about 3DS?
It would be the DS, because a lot of those games were on the DS.
Oh, okay, because Monster Hunter Stories was on the 3DS, so I'm just making
Are you sure? Because I was looking it up and it said that it is on the DS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's because I remember playing it on that one. Again,
it was a 3DS, but it's all good.
Okay.
I think if you pick 3DS, you have access to both the DS and 3DS catalogs.
So I think that probably would be the best one then. So that I stand corrected. So I would have to be it would have to be that one then. So definitely would be one of those games that I'd have to pick up. So yes, it would be the 3DS then.
Etrian Odyssey, of course, as well for you. I know
all the Etrian Odyssey games. Thank you for correcting me, my friend. Because I would not want to take just the DS. It would be the 3DS that I would want. Fantastic system, great selection of games, all the Zelda games, the Castlevania games that were done. The Aria of Sorrow was a game that I 100%. Well, I didn't have 100% it at the time, but I beat it at the time, and it was just fantastic. So it's just definitely the 3DS. So and it's weird though, because I had the DS too. So I had the Advanced. So one of the things that when I was thinking about this is I really thought about if I only had one and I would want something that I could take with me. And so it just made more sense that it would be one of the handheld games, and specifically a handheld game, a system, from Nintendo, because they really were the only game in town for a very long time if you really wanted sustainable like handheld games. And I think around that time they had really cornered the market for any kind of like a handheld system that you wanted. Because I definitely was not going to be playing the Wii U. I just was not about that life. But yeah, the 3DS was just a perfect system. So I'm glad that you caught that, because I would represent it well. And I'm like still looking, like I still have like a bunch of mine, and it was just fantastic. And the fact that they are porting a lot of those games over to the Switch, which is not surprising because they do that all the time. I'm just super excited for that. So yes, it would have to be the 3DS, 100%.
Well, even the DS would stand on its own 2 feet, of course.
Yeah.
Limited to one. So,
but you really caught me on that one with the 3DS, because from what I understood, it had a better battery life, and the screen was a little bigger. So I definitely would have gone with the 3DS over the DS. I actually forgot about the 3DS. When I was doing my research about it, I actually forgot about the 3DS, which is weird because I just remember it as the DS, the dual screen, and
Oh, because you probably never ever used the 3D effect.
I never did. That's really funny. Yeah, I never did. I think I might have used it once, during when I was playing Monster Hunter Stories, maybe. But even then, I never used it. I mean, it was a gimmick, and I thought it was kind of cool for what it was, but I never used it. So it was just a glorified DS for me. So. But I loved it. Fantastic. And I cannot wait to hear all of our listeners' ideas. And of course, if you pick your cell phone, please don't do that. Pick an actual game console, because it's slowly the lines are being blurred between cell phones and handhelds and all that now. So just please.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking too. It's like, maybe does Windows count, like a prior PC generation? I think we want to kind of keep it to consoles if need be. So
yeah. I think this is specifically a console question. So
yeah.
But if nothing else from the two of you friends, I'm gonna tell you who's next, and that's the Jabroni Gaming News.
All right, thank you so much, Des.
You're welcome, my friend.
All right, first thing we're going to cover. It's the last thing of the Summer Games festivities that happened this past weekend, and this one happened on Monday. So it happened after our recording of Gaming Vessels episode 249, and that would be the Ubisoft Forward 2024. So they announced quite a bit of things on here. Obviously, everything Ubisoft, of course. And we're not going to cover everything that was announced because there was quite a few things kind of talked about if need be. There's a lot of continuing support for a lot of the Ubisoft games, which to me it's like kind of crazy to think sometimes how long of a tail some of these games do have as far as the support, because usually most companies in this industry love to pull the plug on a game as soon as they're able to, but Ubisoft is keeping it long and strong on some of these games. For Honor, for instance, is getting a year 8 season 2 season coming up, and it's like I haven't thought about For Honor for a damn minute. It's been years, and they're still
very
supporting
surprised.
that game.
I mean, good on them, and for the people who love that series because they're eating good, but damn, wow.
Yeah. So, well, speaking of eating good, Mr. Goonie would be kind of, even I was watching this, Tom Clancy's The Division 2 is starting their year 6, season 1 on here. And so they had a trailer, the first Rogue official launch on there, and they're kind of bringing it with Division 2. So they decided to go ahead and they made the level cap up to 40 available for everyone. So the Warlords of New York expansion is now available for everyone as well. You don't have to pay for it anymore. So,
whoa.
Yeah. And they also are starting seasonal manhunts on there. And so what they're doing too is that they have a continuing story, of course, not coming up with this season 1, but coming in like in the middle of the season. They're going to offer seasonal content, meaning that you be able to create your own character at the beginning of a season. And that way you're not kind of stuck with one character type. Because a lot of times, like I know Goonies working on building a particular character for hundreds of hours. And so if you want to play some seasonal content without having to, build up a particular character to be able to do that they are giving you the ability to be able to start fresh and maybe even incorporate different play styles with your particular character with your agent if need be. But they are also promising new story DLC later on in year 6 for the Division 2. So I'll have to, at some point, get back into the fold, squad up with Goonie. I don't know if Des, if you're coming in as well, but
that'll be a negatory goodbye.
All right. So, but
have fun, y'all.
I know. Maybe we'll have to talk you into it.
No.
Yes, of course. Also, they shown some new gameplay of Star Wars Outlaws a little bit, so we got to see a lot of the different space combat, stealth, and kind of the story sequences with Vayness on there, the protagonist in this game. So, and I thought it looked good. So it's coming out on August 30th. It's coming out for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X, and even on that little potato called the Xbox Series S. So it's coming out there as well. So it is coming out on August 27th if you happen to buy your early access, which are Super the Greatest Ultimate Editions, or if you want to subscribe to Ubisoft Plus as well, which is available on Xbox consoles and also on PC. So what's your guys' overall thoughts on Star Wars Outlaws? I know we were all watching the Ubiforward, so.
It looks fun. We were talking, I know Goonie was watching it with us, and he was very much very happy that it was about someone who was not a Jedi. And after his comment, I was like, you know what? Goonie's kind of right. Because I'm so used to seeing things about Jedis, and Jedis kind of sell stuff. And I was like, well, I think it's actually pretty good that we're getting a look into the other areas of Star Wars, um, lore, and having a semi-open world. So I don't think it's a true open world, but having a semi-open world where you can actually fly into planets and do your stuff and get into um, fights and sell stuff and be mean and evil as a well, not mean and evil, but you can be a scoundrel. Seems kind of fun. I do wish that they would make a character creator, because I do think that this would have been a fantastic way for folks to make both a male or a female or in between or whatever character, to really have them be immersed in the world. We have a ton of characters in Star Wars already, so to create another one just seems like they just didn't want to allow people, or they didn't want to put in the time to put in a character creator. And I think this type of game would have benefited from that. That way, people could have customized their bounty hunter to be who they wanted to be. And that I was really disappointed with that. Other than that, I think the gameplay looks fun. You have your little sidekick that's for selling toys and whatnot. There's always a cute sidekick, whether it's a droid or an animal. You'll always have a cute sidekick. That's just part of the DNA of Star Trek. Sorry, Star Wars. I keep saying Star Trek. Damn. But other than that, it seems like it could be a pretty fun game. So I'm looking forward to it. I do not feel that it's a day one for me because it's so close to Black Friday, and I do believe that it will go on sale quite quickly. So I will be picking it up. It's just not a day one purchase for me. Looks good though. Looks good.
Yeah,
Kev,
I'm kind of in the same boat. The faces still look weird. Like, and it's not just the main character's man face issues, which I think are a bit exaggerated, but like all the characters, their faces just kind of look off to me. But the game itself looks fun. I hadn't thought about it, but I think Des, you're absolutely right. This really should have been their opportunity for you to insert yourself into the Star Wars universe
yep.
as a rogue, as a rogue individual. Particularly with this type of person, if they were going to make you stick to a predetermined character, this should have been like Han Solo, like when he first started being a runner.
Yeah.
I honestly think because I mean Star Wars and introducing new characters and and all this, like you said, it has not been fully well received. And I think there was an opportunity to either build on the legacy of a well-established character, Han Solo, or letting you create your own smuggler, and in literally being able to insert yourself and build a legacy, so to speak, in the Star Wars universe itself. So I hadn't thought about that, but I agree with you 100%. Gameplay did look fun. It is not a day one yet for me either. I'll wait till it gets to a sale because my dance card is packed.
100%.
For me, like I think I iterated before, there is a steelbook out day one, so I have pre-ordered it simply
Enjoy.
for the steelbook. Yeah, I'm gonna actually take a look at the steelbook itself. I'm looking at it right now. It looks kind of cool, so
No,
I think
get it, buddy.
go get it. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys would you buy something a day one if there was something like a steelbook or another like bonus item of some sort of interest, or
If it was like a Monster Hunter, that's day one or something like that. Are you talking about something from like specifically the Star Wars franchise? I mean, if it was a really cool, you know, Jedi game and you could make your own character and it was set hundreds of years before the Skywalker, saga, and we have to deal with any of that stuff, then yeah, I probably would, I probably buy it. I bought Jedi Reaching Cunningham day one, and that game was okay. It got a little long in the tooth, and I still haven't bought the second one because I was just like, I don't know, sir. It wasn't a burn me once, shame on me such situation. It was one of those things where I was just like, I can wait on this and be completely fine. And I was 100% correct. So I just don't think that it would be very hard for Ubisoft, specifically with their history of putting stuff on or putting stuff on discount or on sale really soon. It's very hard to make a case for their games to be bought day one.
Yeah.
But if you want it and it looks great, more power to you, buddy. Knock yourselves out. I will.
Yeah, and I might cancel it depending. It just
I will support you right to go get it. I mean,
one thing I'm reading
real quick. I keep thinking that you can actually get this. Like, you can actually buy the Steelbook secondhand, right? I mean, you don't have to pre-order it to get it. You could.
No, I mean, but why would I want to pay $20, $30 on eBay for a Steelbook I could get for the price of the actual game? So.
But because they usually have like a $10 markup for the game, so it's either pay $10 for the markup of the game or pay $20. So,
Yeah, it's a pre-order bonus, so it's not per se included with the package. It's just being offered at Target exclusively. So.
Oh, so you're going through Target. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
if you like Target, and want to support Target, well then yeah, go for it.
Got it. All right, and also shown at Ubiforward, we're not going to cover everything, of course. Prince of Persia had a good little shine, so there is DLC coming out for Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which is entitled The Mask of Darkness, which is coming out in September of this year on there. So if you happen to still be interested in playing that game, that's the game that came out earlier this year, the Prince with the hot dog hair, of course.
Oh.
On there, but I've seen that game as cheap as like $18, $20 now for all consoles, because that's usually the Ubisoft way on here. So definitely, if you're interested in that, take a look at that. The Rogue Prince of Persia, which is being worked by the developers of Dead Souls on here, that is in early access right now on Steam. One thing that Goonie was asking, and I still don't know why is the Prince purple in the Rogue Prince of Persia? I have no clue, but it's kind of odd character design choice, at least on that. So, but that being developed by Evil Empire is probably going to go out of early access sometime in the fall, from what they were stating on there. So if you're interested in checking out early access, it is available on Steam. And so last but not least, the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake. You got a teaser trailer. It's not going to be out until 2026. So we got to kind of hold the line, as the king would say, if you're looking for that bad boy.
I'm happy it's a full remake and not just a
HD remaster.
Yeah. I'm kind of happy for that.
Yeah, they showed something a few years ago that was being done by Ubisoft India, I believe, that looked rough. It was rough, and so they decided to go ahead and bring it back to Ubisoft Montreal, and they're letting it cook right now. So, and definitely would want them to get it right if they're going to reboot the whole entire franchise. I think it's a good thing for them to do. So, also they announced some further support for more games, including Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora DLC called the Skybreaker. The Crew Motorfest is getting more support. I don't think anyone here is playing that.
We are not.
Yeah, Season 8 support for Riders Republic, of all things. Oh my God! But
I mean, good for them.
They ended the Ubisoft Forward with a nice extended gameplay walkthrough of Assassin's Creed Shadows on here, and I think all three of us were kind of looking at that gameplay walkthrough with like kind of both eyes open and maybe even some light and or heavy applause through it. So it just looked good on here. The combat with Yusuke was just really heavy and visceral, and then Naoi, the female ninja assassin, kind of gave, like, I think Desmond was referring to, like Tenchu vibes, some little stealth action going on. So, and it's kind of funny to look at the fact that you could play with either character and kind of approach it to where if you want to play more stealth or play a mission more aggressive, you have your choice within the game itself. You don't necessarily pick one character and just play the entire game through with that one character. You're always going back and forth in the playthrough on there. So I think all three of us are probably buying Assassin's Creed Shadows day one. So have at it, Des. What's your overall opinions of the Assassin's Creed Shadows?
I was very surprised by it, 100%. I did not think that I would be excited for an Assassin's Creed game. So the fact that I am like, wow, this is actually pretty good. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm probably gonna get it, and I hate to say it. I just said in one breath that I'm probably not gonna get it day one because they go on sale. And with this one, I was like, I just haven't been excited for a Ubisoft game in a long time. And so the fact that, especially for Assassin's Creed, I've never bought an Assassin's Creed. I think I've only ever played the first one. So the fact that I'm like, hey, okay, this is actually pretty good. It's kind of shocking to me, to an extent. But hey, let's go. I'm excited for it. Again, these old Tenchu vibes really making me feel it. And I'm kind of here for it. It's crazy, but yeah, yeah. I'm laughing because I didn't think that I'd be all like, let's do this. And I'm kind of excited for it. The game looks dope. So yeah, I might have to swallow my pride and do day one on that one. So Kev, what about you?
I really like the gameplay. I like the gameplay of both Naoi and Yusuke. How Yusuke can use this big old mace and just smash the armor off of dudes. I was really feeling the gameplay. Is it going to be a day one? Most likely. It was the gameplay that really drew me in. And I know I probably shouldn't say this, but I'll just say it anyway. So in the Chutosphere, they're claiming that there is a cultural appropriation because Yusuke, I guess during Yusuke's fight, there is hip hop beats going into the background, and they're saying, "Oh, it's offensive. Why are you mixing hip hop and Japanese culture?" And you talk about a double whammy of what is some idiot call it stereotyping. And I would just to that I have two words for those people: samurai champloo.
Yeah.
Samurai champloo. The whole premise of that anime series was blending hip hop and samurais. Literally, that was the whole premise of it. The young woman is looking for the samurai who smelled of sunflowers, and then the two dudes that rolled with her during the journey are like literally the physical incarnation of yin and yang, or at least the Japanese version of that. And there were the whole premise of Samurai Champloo was hip hop. I mean, the dude was like I think it was the dude in red. He basically fought in a hip hop style. That was the way he fought. A lot of break dance moves and spinning around and all that. And the other guy, it's been so long since I watched the show. The other guy was a little bit more stoic and traditional, but he too. It's the same thing every time they got into a fight. It was a hip hop beat. So hip hop and Japanese entertainment has been mixing and matching for a while now. So for them to come up and say, "Oh, well, you got a black dude, and of course it's got to be hip hop," as if that's the reason why they're angry. Come off it. Don't be stupid. But yeah, the AC Shadows from a gameplay perspective looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I'll be there day one as well. So maybe we'll get some mutual, like, all three of us playing at the same time, kind of playlist, kind of impressions at the same time. Kind of cool.
I'm here for it.
So that was Ubiforward in a nutshell on here. Like I said, if you do like Ubisoft games, besides the games we mentioned, definitely take a look, because there is support for any number of different titles. We're not going to be your number one resource for Just Dance updates. So you have to look that up on your own. So sorry.
I must say I was really sad that the remake they announced for Prince of Persia was not Warrior Within. That's the one I really want to get. I really want to see. Warrior Within is my favorite of the. I think they made 4.
It's a 3, I think.
Of the original. Oh yeah, that's right. Of the original ones, Warrior Within was so dope. So dope. That's the one I really want to see. I mean, hopefully, the first one remake does well, so Warrior Within can be remade as well. But yeah, I was really hoping, it's like I really want to see Warrior Within remade.
That Warrior Within was the more angsty one, right?
No, Warrior Within was the more combat focused one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. More angsty,
yeah. That's funny. You call it angsty.
Yeah. I'm just going by the cover art, because cover art has like the prince all like all like ready to wail and kick some ass.
When I think of Prince of Persia, that's the version I envision in my mind.
Was it the one with the woman who was with him? They're running together, and
no, that was one of the worst ones. Yeah. You couldn't die. It's like playing an interactive movie. That one was
it's trash. Like the Prince of Persia. That was the 4th game.
Yeah.
Third game was the Two Princes. So
yes.
I think that concluded like the series that was on Xbox, original Xbox, and PS2. So.
Yeah, but Warrior Within was so good. Yeah.
All right. Well, and next game we're going to talk about, they had a gameplay blowout on Dragon Age: The Veilguard on here. So a lot of people were looking at that trailer on the Xbox Bethesda Game Showcase and was like going, what's going on here? My Dragon Age looks like Fortnite. Looks like.
Get off that.
Yeah. And they were kind of poo-pooing. They thought the trailer kind of looked off as far as what they felt what Dragon Age should be on here, but the gameplay kind of showed a little bit more about the game itself, so that basically, unlike Inquisition, there will be no power mechanic that will block progress. Locations can change based on your choices, and you can return to complete side quests, which are described as quote-unquote handcrafted and story-focused in locations you've already visited. And they said that in the game that there will be no quote-unquote fetch quest in the game. So
that's good. Oof.
So yeah, they said your origin story will quote-unquote will come to play a lot during the course of the game, giving you opportunities to define who your rook was and is, and lots of dialogue choices on here. So they also decided to drop the party size from 3 to 2, in order to focus on a quote-unquote much more intimate experience on there. So
yeah, it looks like they're gonna be. This might be the last game in the series. Is what I'm feeling, and that's just because how certain people how they're doing certain people. Like there's a huge rumor that Varric's gonna die, and that's part of that's like the crux of why he's not a playable character and why he's not romanceable. Every one of your companions is romanceable, regardless of gender or whatever. So everyone is romanceable. And you're chasing after Solus, and supposedly Solus kills Varric, and that's the thing that's really the emotional heartstring that pulls your character into the story. And the thing that I'm hoping that they do, and this would be kind of weird if they didn't do, but probably the technology's not there. But between the first and the second and the third, they had a way where you could share all of your progress from the first game to the second game, and then the second game to the third game. And I don't know if they're going to allow you to do that from the third game to the fourth game. I think they have abandoned that, which is something that's probably, okay, because it's been over 10 years since Dragon Age 3, or Inquisition. So I don't think that they would be able to, house all those people and bring those specific stories or those specific saves into the game like they did with Inquisition. So I wonder what's going to happen. I am interested in what's going to happen, and I am excited for what's going to happen. It feels like this game is going to move, and I don't believe I know people are worried because it looks like it's more actiony and it's more like 2. And I'm not sure that is a bad thing. I actually liked the combat in 2. I thought 2 was fun, and it streamlined a lot of craziness that happened in 1. And 3 was a little bit of both. So for me, I'm here for it. And again, I hate to say this, because I am a huge Dragon Age fan, this will be a day one for me, regardless of sale. If they would offer a steelbook, I probably would get it. I am a huge Dragon Age fan, and I will put up my money to get this game, and play it day one and beat it. I just, even though Inquisition left me with a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, I'm still here for it, and I wanna play it. I cannot wait to play it. I cannot wait to play it. I'm just super excited. When I watched that trailer, I watched it a few times, and then I watched a couple of detailed. There's this group that I watch called Xbox something or another, and it's specifically an Xbox channel or whatever. But they really went into it and was talking about, like, broke down all this different stuff that I didn't even know about, and I was like super excited for it. So yeah, if you can know, I'm like an uber fan for it, and I'm super here for it. So I'm ready for this game. I cannot gush enough about it. I really hope that it's good. Please, please, please be good. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
Kev, I know you're commenting that this got your eyebrow raised a little bit too, right?
Yeah, I played and finished the first one. I thought it was good. Never saw a need to go back and play any of the other ones or replay the first one again. But I thought it was interesting. But didn't play any of the other ones in between. So I'm coming in I'm going to just say I'm coming into this as a new person to the Dragon Age series, because it's been so long since I played the first one. I don't remember anything that happened. But the reason why I buy games is the gameplay loop. I will take a game with an awesome gameplay loop and forgettable characters and story if I have to make that choice any day of the week. And you give me action where I'm not having to go through menus and select things and, switch to this and switch to that menu and do all this stuff. I'm turn-based is not my jam, but what they showed in Veilguard was really dope. And now I will agree with this criticism. I do wish it was more gritty in color palette, in character design. The first Dragon Age was bloody. I mean, you were like, the blood was just spewing everywhere, and that was one of the things that I liked about it. And it was grim dark. This one doesn't seem quite as grim dark in the circumstances are grim, but it's like the castles aren't really dark. There's pastel colors everywhere. I do understand that criticism, and I get it. I would have preferred this to look more like what is that one where you can knock boots with a polar bear or whatever?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate, yeah. I would have preferred that it had a dark gritty art style like that. A quote unquote more realistic. I mean, it's like I've never seen an elf in real life, so when people say it doesn't look realistic, it's like, what are you talking about? But there's just that grim art style. This one looks a little bit too happy for when you consider what's going on. That is my only criticism, but it's not enough of a criticism to prevent me from wanting to get this game. Will it be day one? It will be, depending on what else is on my rotation. So that's where I'm at with Veilguard. If there is not another big multi-hour RPG style game that I'm playing, then definitely. If there is, it'll probably have to wait, but it will definitely be picked up and played at some point.
I'm going to take a wait and see on Dragon Age, just for the fact that I haven't played any of the games in the series. So I'm going to have to watch it a little bit more, though. More information about the game, though. They were asking about character creator. So they said the character creator is, quote unquote, very, very deep. Heavy focus on hair and skin tones and full body customization. Ooh, so
can I have a fade? That's all I want to know. Will I be able to get a fade?
Looks like you can. And I have to tell you, I hope so, because man, Inquisition was rough. Inquisition was rough. Oh, it's rough. It is a rough game. No character looks good in that game. Like, no character looks good in that. Is rough. That game was rough. Like, the hairstyles were just busted. Just
for every ethnicity then?
No one looked good in that game. I don't know what they did for the folks in that game, but it was gruesome. Woo, it was rough. No.
Okay, so I think that gets your eyebrow raised, right, as far as character creator being very deep on there. So
Oh yeah.
They talked about companions and banter. They said this is the most banter we've ever done in a Dragon Age game. There's new interruptible and resumable banter, so you don't miss anything. There's lots of moments where all the companions are interacting with each other. You could change companion outfits, so there's a wider range of appearances. And the team is very proud of the companions' deeper companion arcs they've ever done, with heavy decisions to make throughout the game on here. And you can do things that anger your companions to where they could disappear out of your party for a bit of time on there. So
well, there you go.
Yeah.
I watched so much stuff about this game that I was like, let's do this.
Yeah, so it just seems like there's a lot of bits and pieces on there. So there's also add additions as far as, I guess there's base management in the lighthouse, I guess. So that's what they're talking about. So, but we'll have to see once this game does reach it. It's coming soon. It's coming in the fall. So we'll see when it pops out and kind of go from there. So, all right. Next thing I want to talk about too, Visions of Mana got a new trailer and a new release date. So Visions of Mana is going to be released from Square Enix as of August 29th on here. So they also unveiled new playable characters. Palomina and July were introduced on here. As far as for the US version, they dropped the PlayStation 4 version, so they're only releasing the PlayStation 4 version in Europe, Japan, and Asia. They decided we're not releasing this physically for the PS4 in the West on here, at least in the US. They decided to drop the physical version of that. So which is kind of crazy. I guess if you're only on PS4 and you want to play this Mana game, it's still being released for PS4. It's just not being released in the West. And that includes that's for the physical edition. I'm thinking for the standard edition, they'll probably still release it for PS4. That's like money being left on the table if they decide not to release the physical or the digital PS4 version out on PSN and other stores if need be. So, but from what I saw, it looks good, and it's coming out end of August. So I'm there day one. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Des, what's your overall opinions of Visions of Mana?
I never was a big Mana fan. I think, and it's not because I don't like them or I didn't think that they were cool or anything like that. It's just for whatever reasons I just never got into the Mana series, and I think this might be the one that gets me into it, and I can actually and I have a bunch of them. I just, for whatever reason, I just have not gotten into them as a series. It's kind of like the Tales series. I have a couple of the games, but for whatever reason, something is stopping me from getting into them and trying them. Like I have Tales of Arise, and I really want to get into that game, but I don't know. Like I always look at it on my shelf, and I'm like, hey, and I reach for it, and I'm like, and then I just don't. So I don't know. I think I might have to, look at yours, see how it goes, and then decide from there.
Yeah, I might just because I never beat Secret of Mana back in the day on the Super Nintendo.
You beat it before?
No, I played it quite a bit, but I never completed the campaign, and so I might actually go back and take a look at the remake that they brought out for PS4 and PC and take a look. I'm looking at the main story. It's a 16-hour campaign, so that might be something. I know Trials of Mana is the sequel to Secret of Mana.
Yeah.
I know we had a chance to peep that at old PAX on there, so...
Yeah.
And I know that game is also highly regarded as well. So, and then Visions of Mana obviously is the a sequel to that game on here. So it's the next in the series. So I'll have to see how kind of that goes then from there. So,
yeah.
Kev, any interested in the Mana series at all? Visions of Mana coming out end of August.
I've never played any of the Mana games. I've seen the gameplay of them, and they've all looked interesting. I just never got around to playing them. But this one also looks really good. So, again, I'm probably going to have to say it depends on where I am on my dance card. But I'll definitely... it looks like a game I would want to play regardless. But, yeah, it's going to depend on where I am on my dance card.
Yeah, he's not wrong. I mean, I think that's honestly where I am with it at the same time. It seems like it could be super fun, and there's not enough time in the day, y'all. It's not enough time in the day.
One thing to consider too, the Trials of Mana is also available on PlayStation Plus. I believe it's an extra game. So if you do want to play the previous game prior to Visions of Mana, it is there for you to be able to check out. So. And according to How Long to Beat, it's 20 hours to play the main story. So,
Cool.
Throwing that out there for everyone, including our listeners, just in case you want to make this one of your summer backlog buster titles. So, another game I wanted to mention because they finally released announced a release date is for the game called Demon School. So they finally have come out with a date. It's coming out on September 13th. Coming out for Xbox Series consoles, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on there, and also available on PC via Steam and itch.io as well. So we'll have to check a look at this once it is out, but it's coming out for everything under the sun. So is this a day one for you, Des, or are you going to kind of wait and see if there's a physical possibly?
I'm going to wait for a physical. For games like these, I wait for physicals, and because they've been around for forever, and they've been waiting for forever, I do believe that we're probably going to end up getting one. To be completely honest with you, we're probably going to end up getting one, because this is one of those games that just has indie darling screamed all over it. And I think because of that, I'm gonna have to wait until I see if there is a physical or something. Like, I need to know that, and I do believe that there will be. I just, like, in my heart of hearts, I believe that there will be a physical. So
I'll have to take a look to see, and this might be something, especially if it's around Tokyo time, it might be a cool game to play on the plane. I can tell you that right now. So
yeah.
So
that definitely could be something that's good to play on the plane. You are correct, sir.
Got it. Yeah. All right, and then I got one last thing for the Jabroni Gaming News this episode. So, of course, Phil Spencer made an appearance on IGN's live stage on here, and he talked a number of different topics, including talking about, of course, Tango Gameworks and the closure of Arcane Austin, and so on and so forth. So a lot of I got a business there. I got to make sure that Xbox is obviously operating as a valid business. But then he went on to talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 6 specifically. And so he were talking about ways to play the game and so on and so forth. And he went on to explain to Ryan McCaffrey on stage. He explained that he wasn't interested in using exclusivity tactics to make players opt for a specific platform. So he explained on stage, it's a choice. We didn't say to anybody, you have to subscribe to play. If you want to play Black Ops 6, that's great. It's great for us. It's great for the developer. If you want to subscribe, that's also great. I want to give you a choice on how to play your games and who you play with, and not try to do slimy platform things to force you to do what I want you to do. So, and this comment was the second time that day that Phil Spencer alluded to previous PlayStation Call of Duty exclusivity deals, meaning that, Xbox is coming in to save the day from the quote-unquote slimy tactics that was previously in place for Call of Duty. So,
thank you, Phil.
Yeah, but obviously Sean Layden, former CEO of PlayStation Studios, pretty much had a comment on Twitter. He didn't really comment anything, but he responded with a GIF of Will Arnett doing a spit take, basically. So, and it's pretty much, I think Phil Spencer calling out another platform holder for being quote unquote slimy. I think they were basically taking the playbook from Microsoft and what they did in the Xbox 360 generation with Call of Duty in particular, and other exclusivity deals, including Tomb Raider, of course. Remember Tomb Raider was exclusive on Microsoft platforms for a year before making its way onto PlayStation. So, Kev, what's your overall opinion of Phil talking about slimy exclusivity tactics?
It wasn't professional. I mean, those are the vocal energy he used to say that could have been saved to build up the benefits of Game Pass. And I think Sean, just with his little GIF response, was right on point. I mean, Phil, here's the thing, folks. If the Xbox was solid enough to compete with the PlayStation under the traditional console model, the same way that Nintendo's competing with PlayStation, because I know a lot of people don't like to think that they're competitors. They are. If you make a video game console that plays video games, you are a competitor in the space. So stop kidding yourselves. If they had the ability to compete in the traditional business model, they would. That means that all the quote unquote slimy tactics that Xbox did under the 360 during the 360 days, they'd still be doing them. Why? Because they work. When you have a viable product in a given market, you want to make that product as desirable as possible to your potential customers. Nintendo knows how to do that. PlayStation knows how to do that. Xbox, as of late, when I say of late, I'm talking from the Xbox One forward, has struggled mightily in doing that. And that's why we have Game Pass and all the stuff that's day and date on PC and all the stuff surrounding that. So, spare me, Phil, with your self in the, your self pat on the back, self high five, sparing yourself high five, Phil, putting your white knight helm on. If you could do it the traditional way, you would be doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. Take a look. I mean, obviously, Microsoft reportedly paid $100 million to make Rise of the Tomb Raider exclusive to Xbox platforms. You think that worked for Microsoft? I don't think so. So
no, it didn't.
Yeah, Dead Rising 3. Remember Dead Rising 3? That game is exclusive for Xbox One. So I don't know about slimy.
And Phil was at the table during those meetings. He was in a position of making those. He wasn't the final guy at the time, but he was at the table. So, spare me, Phil. Come on. You ain't Captain Save 'em though. Captain Save-A-Ho of the CEO.
He is not.
No. It's like, bruh, be professional.
And, obviously there's enough money hats and exclusives. PlayStation's buying exclusives, so is Xbox. I mean, is Stalker 2 coming out day and date on PlayStation? Nope. It's on the Game Pass, so it's the same thing. So...
Well, I mean, it's the same thing, but here's the problem that Xbox has painted themselves in the corner they painted themselves into. Every new game that they come out, the first thing out of mouths of people who don't already own an Xbox is going to be, is it coming to PlayStation? And well, the answer is yes, because Phil basically confirmed that whole slate is coming. It may not come day and date, but it's coming. And while we talked about their showcase, last episode, I saw enough to warrant me to keep my Series X, which I was not expecting. So some of those games I will be playing on Xbox. May even some of the games that I'm not 100% sure, maybe renting a month of Game Pass to check it out. But for people who are, sold on the PlayStation ecosystem, all they're doing is sitting back. They'll say, okay, I'll wait, because they're going to get the better version of the game. They're going to get all the DLC for it. So they're basically, yes, are they paying for it? Yeah, but they're also getting the greatest version of that game if there's any supporting DLC. So while I saw value in maintaining keeping my Series X, because I'm not a PC gamer, a lot of people who are willing to switch over to PC probably didn't. Now, do they care? You got to sell games in order to bring in money. Game Pass can't do everything for you. At least not at that current. Not at what? How much is Game Pass for a year? Or do they even sell it year to year? What is it?
No, it's like
$70
what,
or something?
$15.99 a month.
$15.99 a month. Yeah, you can't make money with the cost of games today on a $16 a month. Can't do it.
According to let's take a look. GameStop, Microsoft, Xbox Game Pass Core, which is the like Xbox Live. It's $60, but Ultimate is going to cost you. I don't know because I went over to Argentina to be able to subscribe to Game Pass. So, but it's up there. I think it's close to $100, I believe. So.
Yeah, and that price is going to would have to be substantially higher for them to see a real profit based off the cost of making games. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to take a look then from there. But that is the Jabroni Gaming news for this episode 250. We made it.
We made it. Looks like we made it.
Wow, 250. Can you believe it?
All right, folks. Game night. New night takes place every Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's the day of the week we set aside to play with our growing Discord community. So if that sounds like fun to you, all you have to do is head over to our Discord server, jump into the channel for game night, and mention the game that you'd like to play. If we don't already have it, we can get it, and we will be more than happy to play with you on Tuesday nights. Again, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So you might be asking, that sounds great, but how do I join the Discord? Well, you just hop on over to the app formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X. X. And head on over to @GamingVessels, GamingVessels. You click the link in the bio and you're in. So there's no overpriced merch to pay for, and there is no Patreon tier list to subscribe to. Just be a good person, likes talking about games, and can do without the personal attacks that often go on in much bigger social media platforms. I think you'll find a neat home at Gaming Vessels on our Discord. So I highly encourage you to do that. So, folks, with all that said and done, that is going to bring episode 250 to a close. I want to thank you for chilling out and hanging out with us. Also want to mention a happy Father's Day to the pops who may be out there listening. Don't forget to call Dad if you're fortunate enough to still have him in your life. So for Dez, aka Bay Area Terror, aka the High Res Lover / Hater.
That's me.
AKA
the Cat Daddy, AKA that gamer stepdaddy, and for Trader Joe, AKA Jabroni Chief.
Yeah, I'm paying attention this time. Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I'm Shownuff71, AKA Diggadulamite.
Purple Bling Bling, if you remember that game, y'all.
And we'll be back next time, episode 251, for your ears. Peace.